Defiance is really a revolutionary kind of product because not only is it a third-person shooter MMO that runs on 3 different platforms, which is in and of itself pretty revolutionary, it also ties into an original TV series being developed by the SyFy channel, and the two launch together, and they're interconnected. So characters, events, the entire world that both the game and the show are set in are the same, and they play off of each other. So TV viewers can have an impact on what happens in game, and players can have an impact on what happens in the TV show. It actually started over 4 years ago when SyFy and Trion started talking about bringing to market an experience that tied together a TV show and a game. And we didn't have a really super clear idea of what that was going to look like, but we knew that it was an interesting proposition that we wanted to pursue. And as we've been working together, we have gotten very, very close with the SyFy channel, with the writers on the TV show, with the marketing folks in New York, in figuring out and learning about each other's business so that we understand what the limitations are. One of the things that was really critical for us was to have enough space so that Trion could make a really great game, and that SyFy had an opportunity to make a really great show, and each one needs to stand on its own. They need to be able to have merit to their own audience. But then beyond that, we wanted to find ways to enhance that. And so we meet with the SyFy production staff almost daily now. And their writers come down to San Diego. We go visit the set. It's a very, very interconnected development process. For us, it's important that people do what they enjoy, and so there's no requirement for viewers to play the game, or vice versa. But when you consume both, you have a greater depth of understanding. And for people who like either, they become fans and they want to become more deeply entrenched in the world. And so if you're a gamer and you love the action, you love the setting, games aren't super good at human drama. And so you can get that on the TV show. On the TV show, they're great at human drama, but not so good at all the detail and the vast world that a game can provide. So they enhance each other, but they're not mutually required. It's interesting because for a game a year out from launch, and we're launching in April of 2013, for us it's a very busy time. So from PAX to E3 to Comic-Con and Gamescom, those are typically our big summer shows. And then in the fall, late fall, we'll be kicking off our pre-order program. For a TV show, however, a year out is entirely too long to start marketing, and so SyFy has been doing things very differently than they do for other shows and getting involved. So you'll see, for example, a really big Defiance presence at Comic-Con that talks about both game and show as one brand. And we've been working with them very closely on the development of that brand, and I've never had this experience of 2 companies kind of sharing a brand, which is typically very personal, but they're a great team to work with, and we work so closely that we have one name, one brand that classifies and describes both the game and the show. We have the same key art that we're developing jointly. We have the same program, and so the messaging is always play the game, watch the show. Defiance is a Trion IP. So it's not like we're doing a licensed game off of someone else's property. This is something very much that we're absolutely based around. And so some of the challenges have been not so much in what we want to do, but learning each other's business. There's a vast difference between how you bring a TV show to market versus how you bring a game to market. For them, it's a much shorter process, and it doesn't involve financial transactions. So they're not trying to convince a consumer to spend money. They just want a little bit of your time so that you can get involved. As we've been working together with them, we've had to learn all about television production, all about television marketing. We have a lot of SyFy folks here at the show, and even just today we were discussing about how we use the same terms, but they mean different things. So when we were developing key art, just as an example, for them, they tend to think of it more as a background that they can place actors in front of, and they will combine actors, different shots, different groups. For a game, key art is really primarily packaging, and it's one image that you want to perpetuate and continue to repeat everywhere. And so while we were both developing key art, what they had in mind and what we had in mind were different. Well, community is very, very important to an MMO, and for us, social initiatives are a big part of what we do. We, of course, already have a Facebook page, and again, one Facebook page for Defiance, whether you're a fan of the show or the game, YouTube, Twitter, of course, but we're also looking into much more innovative use of that. Games are known for their community, and everything from forums to social media has already been done. Now that we have a TV show attached to it, we're looking at ways to implement social media differently. So for example, we're talking about allowing players in the game to check in Foursquare style into places in the game that will result in them getting potential benefits in game or even coupons from advertisers. When the show ends its first season, it's really when the fun begins, because that's the opportunity for gamers to really impact what happens in the second season. There will be additional content that we light up that will preview what happens in season 2. And so that period of time between seasons is really when the writers on the TV show can really dig into what gamers are doing, seeing what the reactions are, seeing who are the famous gamers, are there people who are very accomplished, and look for ways to integrate them into the show world.